Well, I'm leaving. This was my first stop. I drove non-stop like 4 hours. So, наступна зупинка should be Montana, except like this thing always try to send you some crazy route, but actually I think last time I went like that. 519, because you need Highway 3 anyway. And my truck, you know, I don't like wasting money on washes in winter, because where I am in Canada it just doesn't work. But now even I gotta admit that it's unacceptable. It's not just dirt, you know, like some little dust. It's really kind of like baked dirt, you know, because I went through that Northern Ontario at minus 28 Celsius with all the ice. So once again, this is Nanton, Alberta, and we're about 2 hours. We're about 2 hours away from Montana border. And so yeah, the trailer, everything is covered, I don't know, like 1 centimeter or half an inch of dirt. And it's everywhere, like all my you know, air tanks, all the lines there. That's what I don't like. All the ride height controls, everything is ugly. And so when I went to the diner over here, and while I was waiting for my overpriced meal, I was researching, you know, where I can find a truck wash. And I found one right in Casper, where I'm going, Casper, Wyoming. Seems to be an okay truck wash. I just hope it's big enough so I can, you know, get in, get out. But this place, okay, I was concerned about getting stuck in the parking lot, but right now it's plus 14 Celsius, plus 14. Just to give you an idea, 10 Celsius is 50 F. So it's like 55 F, like crazy. And so there's no snow. Like, I'm south of Calgary. You see over here, it says Lethbridge, 131 kilometers. That's the next kind of like big town. And I got stuck in the parking lot today again in the morning at Blackjack's Roadhouse. I just, you know, it's not me. It was all ice, because it was plus 4 Celsius, about what, 37 F. And I had to use a friend of mine, Mark, the fuel guy, gave me a pail of very nice sand, you know, with large diameter particles, and that still did not help. And then a guy nearby, a guy was parked next to me, and he saw me struggling. He was fully loaded, like I think it was a K-Whopper W9 with a Trident trailer full, and he said he was overloaded, so he had lots of some kind of a drilling equipment on it, like very heavy, and so he had lots of traction. And so he came over, he says, I think you need a tug, a pull, you know. I said, well, I said I would really appreciate your help if you think you can help. And his trailer in the back, and it was not just the bumper, but in top of the bumper there was another massive bar. I'm guessing, you know, because sometimes they have to do this, and that bar had I forgot how it looked like, but I was able to put my big hook right in there. And so he came in front of me, back towards the truck. I hooked up 2 of my chains, and he just had to pull me, I don't know, 100 psi, you know, like even a pickup truck would be able to do that, because then because of all that sand, I just couldn't, you know, overcome the initial resistance of the ice, because there was ice on the tires on the trailer and the Jeep and booster. But he just jerked me slightly and we started rolling. And the entire parking lot over there at Blackjack's is covered in ice and snow, despite it being above freezing. And so I asked him to drag me right where the pavement started, you know, where the ice ended. And so he stopped right at the stop sign when you turn on the main road. And so I was looking in my mirror and I honked him. I said, yeah, I see my drive wheels are finally on the pavement, like no ice. And the guy was, I didn't ask his name, but local hauler. He says he does heavy haul as well. And he says just the other day, he says he got stuck. He was pulling an RGN, and you know, everybody knows, like RGN trailers, you get stuck because you know, when you're empty, you don't have any weight on your drives, especially with the Jeep, right? So anyway, he pulled me out. I drove on Highway 2 south. I crossed Calgary, just didn't take the bypass, went straight through. There was hardly any traffic, except on the way back. I was probably half an hour. I was 50%, like in midway between Calgary and this Nanton place, where I just stopped at this Flying J. And I saw that convoy that everybody was talking about, like a convoy of I don't know, maybe 50 trucks, 60 trucks, and they all had their flashing lights on, and they were going that way, like they were going north on Highway 2 towards Calgary. And they had flags and signs, and basically guys protesting these vaccine mandates at the border. And there was a bunch of cars also accompanying them. You know, there were people standing on the side, and my GoPro was in the back on the sleeper's bunk, so I couldn't get it. And somebody called me on the radio, hey, Captain Sergei, join the fun. And I said, I'm sorry guys, I'm going in the wrong direction. So and I'm fully vaccinated, and I do have the proof on my phone. So anyway, so I go into that Flying J, and you see this, like this snow is like a month old. So these guys over here, they didn't have snow, whereas in Edmonton over there, Nisku-Leduc, it's crazy, right? There's ice everywhere. And so I come to this Flying J, I was almost laughing at myself, because I was afraid I'll have to be creative in the parking lot, find a spot where I definitely can leave. And then I come here, there's no ice, no snow. And so I go in the diner, and the girl says, so I show her my, you know, like in Alberta here, you have to show your proof of vaccination and your ID to make sure the, you know, the proof matches the ID. Okay, I did that, and then she says, I'm sorry, but our debit and credit machines are out of order, so we only take cash. And I said, okay, because I just paid for something inside the truck stop, and I know that their machine worked. Like, you know, I paid with a credit card. And I said, do you know if they have an ATM in there? And she says, yeah, they do. And so I go there, I take out 40 bucks Canadian. The machine happily charges me $3.50. So I go back to the restaurant. I said, okay, I got cash, but I said, I'm gonna deduct $3.50 from your tip. And the girl got really upset, you know, because there's no customers. Like the diner is empty. I don't know, Sunday it was what, 2 o'clock local time. The diner is empty, so of course she's not making any money. And here I say, even I'm gonna basically take most of your tip. And she's like, well, sir, I warned you that we don't take credit and debit cards. If you don't like it, and she doesn't know how to finish the sentence, you know, because her boss is in the back. I hear him talking there. Like, I think he's the chef as well. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. I said, I'll stay here. Like, I already have the cash. I said, I already paid $3.50. I said, the bank machine charged me $3.50. I said, why is your debit credit card machine not working? You have some kind of a scheme going here where, you know, you tell people it's not working and then you send them to the ATM, which probably you own. You know, I like to think of all these conspiracy theories. Like, I become really suspicious when they tell me that they cannot take debit and credit cards, but for your convenience, there's an ATM in the lobby that charges, you know, only $9.50 per $100. You know, they always have these crazy fees, right? Like at the of course, if you go to your bank, if you can find a bank somewhere, but I mean, who's gonna do that, right? I don't have time. So I paid $3.50 Canadian, and I wanted to eat something healthy. There was nothing there, so I just got a waffle with some 5-year-old strawberry jam on top of it. That's it. One waffle like this size, I don't know, 2.5 inches, $13. And I got coffee, and then she asked me grudgingly, would you like more coffee? I said, if you're okay with that, just make it to go. And she brought me that, and the bill was for one waffle and basically coffee, right? Because coffee is usually like on the tap, right? They don't charge you when they refill, but I asked for it to go. I don't know if they charge me or not, but so the bill was $17.33 for one waffle and coffee. I gave it $20. I said, that's it. Would you like your change, sir? I said, no. So basically, leave me alone. I'm not coming back here ever again. But the parking is big. I like the parking. And I decided I needed fuel because I was getting low. And I only want to fuel again in Montana, where it's much cheaper. So I pulled ahead to the pump that was right in front of me. And of course, as I'm pulling in, I see a sign that says, DEF is out of order. And I needed DEF as well, but I'm still okay. But, you know, it would be cool to add maybe $20-30. So I go inside, and she says, you want diesel or DEF as well? I said, well, I saw a sign on the pump that said, no DEF. And she says, and I quote, it's just on that pump, sir. I said, I have a 9-axle rig. I cannot back. I said, I'm not gonna go in circles. I said, I'm at that pump. That's diesel only. Okay, how much would you like? I said, $300 Canadian. So it was $1.42 per liter. So I think I got like, what I got, about just over 200 liters. And I wrote it down in my 208.47. 208.47 liters. And it's a bit windy today. And I'm driving and I'm admiring the view of the mountains to my right. Because that way is British Columbia. And remember when I was last time here, I rented a car and I went to Lake Louise and stuff, so it's all there. So yeah, my priority now is to cross the border and shut down in Montana somewhere there. I'm not gonna do too much today because I probably spent like an hour at that Blackjack's Roadhouse trying to get out. And yeah, I'm gonna get fuel tomorrow in Montana. I know it should be cheaper because here it's $1.42 times 4. That's like what, $5.40 a gallon Canadian. So it's like $4 US per gallon. So it definitely should be cheaper over there. Even $3.85 US per gallon is still cheaper than here. And there's a bunch of actually, even that town, Shelby, Montana, where they have the town pump, Flying J. Even that one is, there is a small truck wash nearby, but I look at the reviews and it says like 2 out of 5. That's very bad. 2 out of 5. So people were saying that it's overpriced, you know, they don't do a good job. So I said, forget it. Then I started looking, and turns out in the same town where my pickup is, in Casper, Wyoming, there's a decent truck wash that gets good reviews on Google Maps, and it was even open today. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna reach it tomorrow, because from Shelby, Montana, where I plan to be tonight, Shelby, Montana to Casper, it's 560 miles. Of course, I'm empty, but you know, I gotta stop at the port of entry. I gotta order the permit for Wyoming. They'll probably want me to buy a permit for, you know, for running empty with a booster as well. So that you can lose like an hour there, because I have to stop first before entering Wyoming, right? And they give me that, you know, you tell them your truck number. Sometimes I think they ask you for the plate, color, where you're going, and then they give you a reference number. And then when you enter Wyoming, that's the first thing they ask you. What's your reference number? So if you don't have a reference number, that means that you didn't call for the permit, so they'll give you a ticket. So I think they will want one permit running empty from Montana to Casper, and then a second permit I'll probably buy right away, because I know what my weights will be from Casper to, I think, South Dakota, because my load goes into northern Ontario, a couple of hours east of Thunder Bay, Ontario. And so I checked on the map, it looks like I'll be going from Wyoming, I'll be going to South Dakota, and then Minnesota, Wisconsin. And then I'm gonna cross into Canada in the town with a romantic name, Pigeon River, Ontario. You know, I've been there before, you saw me, it's, you know, the road goes right past that huge lake. What is that, Superior Lake? So now if the weather keeps up like this, I'm pretty sure I'll see some people sunbathing, you know, right here, like 10 feet away. So we're gonna keep the cameras rolling. Maybe we'll get lucky and see some swimmers in the waters, you know, kind of like Shark Week 22. It would be a cool drive. And that, it's a John Deere excavator. So about, my paperwork says 67 or 68,000 pounds, about 12 feet wide, 12 feet tall. So it's not exactly small, but it's not too heavy either. So I'll have to be very, very, very careful again in parking lots, because if I got stuck with that 92,000 pound pipe layer, I'll definitely get stuck with a 68,000 pound excavator. But this time I'm not going through Ohio, which means that I don't care about the weight on my truck, because in Ohio, that's why I loaded that pipe layer all the way to the back, because I could not go over 60,000 pounds on the last 3 axles of the truck. right? So now I'm pretty sure, I think they give you, I'll have to double check, but that's one of the things I'm gonna do today. I'll go for a walk. I've been missing my walks with those Nordic poles, and I'm gonna put on my weighted vest and go for a walk around Shelby. The weather should be good, but I don't like those clouds. Those clouds in there, that's snow. See, like here, I don't know if you can see, like here, yeah, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, but this, like that side, the mountains hardly has any clouds. But here, straight down, it's all, I don't like the dark blue color, and the same here. But looks like here, check this out, there's water in the ditch because the snow, very old, ugly looking snow, has been melting. And actually, I like this area very much in Alberta, just south of Calgary, because over here you're protected by the mountains. So here it's always much warmer than, let's say, in Edmonton, you know, or north of Edmonton. So here climate is, I think it's better, but they say that quite often they can see some unpredictable changes over here. You know, like during the day. And also it can get very hot in summer. Whereas Edmonton is more bearable, but I know I'd rather deal with heat than with cold. So this is a good area, and then you can take a car, you can drive into the mountains there, all these resorts, right? So anyway, that's my next project. So moving a medium-sized John Deere. Yeah, I think if you want details, I think it's the model name is 300. John Deere 300. I hope, I think the weather should be okay. Like it was lots of snow, right, last week in Ontario, but I think now it should be okay. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll just catch the window, you know. I'm not sure what I'm doing after, but I'm not gonna sit there. Maybe one day, maybe 2 days maximum, that's it, because that area is usually dead. And if there's loads out of Thunder Bay, sometimes they're very, very cheap. And Thunder Bay to my yard in Cambridge is a 2-day trip. So I might just, you know, once I deliver that load, I can just pack and go. And my deliveries are right nearby that Husky in Nipigon, Ontario. Husky. It's probably like 15-20 minutes away. So that's where I might go, you know, to sleep, and then regroup in the morning and see what I'm doing.